Man, did Hassan Reddick ever call out the 49ers ahead of their visit to Philadelphia this Sunday? Of course, a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, in which Niners quarterback Brock Purdy was lost to an elbow injury in the very first series of that game. So Reddick said, and I quote, "Talk is cheap. They get to come back to the link. It was a lot of boo-hoos last year, a lot of crying, a lot of what if. They get a chance to come back in here, line that SH up, and prove it again." Richard Sherman, good idea or bad idea for Hassan Reddick to say what he said?
Hey, when you win, Skip, you get to say what you want. You get to say what you want. So it's fine idea with me. At the end of the day, this is a prove-it sport. You got to go out there and line it up like he said, and he got to prove and back up his words. Yep. The Niners got to back up the things they've said this offseason. That's what makes it a fun sport. You don't get to hide behind anything. It's also a physical sport. So you literally have to physically do what you say you're going to do, or people are going to hit you in their mouth, and they're going to hit you in your mouth over and over and over again until you fold. And so this is going to be a fun game to watch. I love all the talking. I love all the energy surrounding it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's the reset button for me, though, in this situation, right? Last year was last year. That's over with. There's new players on the team. Miles Sanders isn't there anymore. It's Swift now. You may be without Lane Johnson. Who knows? So it's just a different situation. I have zero problems with him saying anything at all with that being said. Here's the caveat, though, Skip. You got to show up.
Yep.
Because the 2 sacks, the forced fumble, and knocking Purdy out the game, that was last year. That was last year. Now, it's all cool, fine and dandy. But if they somehow bloody your nose, then these words are going to come back to kind of bite you for a couple days as the talk shows and the, talking heads start to, dive into it. Do I think that he'll come up and show that he can play? Yeah, of course Hassan's going to show up to the game. But for some reason, Trent Williams gets his hands on him and doesn't allow him to do what he did a year ago in the NFC Championship game. We're all going to look up and say, wow, oh, God, they neutralized him. That's what you get for talking, da-da-da. But if he goes out there and he duplicates this again, we'll be like, man, that's what we talking about. He's a dog. We love him. That's how it goes, and he knows that. This is why he's saying it. He's motivating himself. He's put a target on his back along with his teammates that are probably going to rally around him and try and show up to beat the Niners.
Okay. I'm going to give Hassan Reddick this. He has been showing up and showing out. He showed up against my Cowboys. In the fourth quarter, he was all over Dak Prescott. He took him down once, but he was all over him the whole quarter, even though Dak and company were able to go up and down the field. But he had one key sack at a key moment. For the season, he's 8.5 sacks, which is tied for 13. So he's not at the top of the top, but he's been a force for them across their defensive front that hasn't always been a force. He has been the one who always jumps off my TV screen. So I give you the right to talk on your individual performance. But you guys have heard the old cliche about the empty barrel makes the most noise. It feels like the Eagles' defense has a lot of empty barrels right now making a lot of noise because, just for the record, I'm just spitting facts here. I'm not embellishing. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making any of this up. The Eagles' defense is 20th in points allowed. That's not very good. The Eagles' defense is 30th. That's third from the bottom in opponents' third down conversions allowed. So points allowed, third down conversions allowed, they're just not very good. And as I said yesterday, over the last 4 games, all victories, thanks to Jalen Hurts for the most part, 4 straight times they have won games while allowing an average of 430 yards. They have gotten outgained all 4 victories, which is hard to do. It's just hard to overcome that many yards, that many, and that many, 4 straight times for an average of 430, while this past Sunday against Buffalo goes to their place, goes into their house in a rainstorm and has 505 total yards. 505. So my point is, are you sure, Hassan, that your teammates can back you up on this? You've written a check. Can they cash for you? Can they help you cash it? Because all year long, the defense hasn't been very good.
Skip.
Jalen Hurts has made plays to win close games again and again and again.
Skip.
Yes.
They are 10-1.
Okay, they are 10.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm
like, what are you?
talking
I'll
about
let
facts.
you go on.
Yeah,
You're telling
how
me
many
about the
teams
rankings.
How many teams
They're
go win a
10-1.
Super Bowl with the 20th defense and points
Doesn't
allowed?
matter. They're 10-1.
I mean,
they're 10-1.
The Chiefs have done it.
The Chiefs have done it. They're 10-1.
I don't think they were that bad. I don't think they were 20.
Some teams hit in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
They hit their stride in the postseason. Okay, offensively, when I won a Super Bowl, we were just saying, okay, whatever. Get some yards, score some points, whatever. But when we got to the playoffs, we were a different offense against the 49ers and the Eagles and the Raiders. We were a different offense. So you can hit and change things around once you get into the postseason. You keep telling me about these yards and what they are and this and that and the other. Man, they're getting ready to have possibly the #1 seed in the playoffs, going back through Philadelphia to get there. And you're telling me about their statistical numbers in week 12.
Are they getting ready to do that, or are they about ready to fall on their face?
You've been saying that for 4 weeks now. They ain't failed yet.
How lucky have they been?
They haven't failed.
How lucky have they been? How many passes did the Chiefs
It's better to be
drop?
lucky than good.
See, I don't even want to turn this into a Cowboy thing.
It's not a Cowboy thing.
But I
It's
am.
just about the Eagles.
I am, though. How lucky have the Cowboys been with this schedule at the beginning of the year playing against a bunch of dogs that's under 500, Skip?
Well,
you keep talking about lucky.
We're about to see, right? You keep telling me, just wait until now. Okay, now is here.
It actually
now
starts on Thursday. I don't know what Seattle's going to do. I don't know if they're going to show up or what.
Well, you've been telling me Seattle's better than Dallas.
I actually thought they were.
Well, do you not
But
think they're not?
obviously, over the last couple of weeks, that's not the case.
Okay. Dallas is only a 9-point favorite? 9-point favorite? Really? Okay.
Now, what were they against the Cardinals? 12?
And I'm sorry, that Richard, to derail this to you and Skip and bring up the Cowboys, but he started talking negative about the Eagles, and they're 10-1.
Okay, but what did you both say about the Kansas City game on Monday night? Did the Chiefs not drop 6 passes, including the game winner?
I picked the Eagles to beat them, though, Skip.
Skip,
Okay, well,
this is a proven sport. This isn't about who gets
well,
lucky.
You did.
Nobody remembers.
When are the
Nobody
Chiefs
remembers
going to drop 6 balls in a big game?
They
lead the league. They lead the league in drops, Skip. So they're going to drop passes. They literally lead the league
in drops. I think the number's at like 28 now, 29.
Yes, 28.
28.
Didn't you all agree that
I ain't dropped 28 passes in 11 years.
Yeah.
They done that in 11 games.
Yeah, didn't you all say that Valdez-Scantling should have caught the pass that hit him in the hands at the goal line?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Hey, I can tell you about a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That didn't win the game. What actually happened was the Philadelphia Eagles won the game. But let's go back to this San Francisco.
I'll give you this. Dak Prescott in the fourth quarter at Philadelphia threw for 173 yards. Think about that.
You're correct.
He almost threw for 200 yards in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter.
What if you go times 4? That'd be like throwing for 800 yards on Philadelphia.
800 yards. And you just said.
What if?
You just said if the wax is out my ear and I hear clear, which I think it is.
Yes.
You just said that Hassan Reddick showed up against Dak Prescott at the right time.
One time he did.
So what? So what's the problem?
I give you that.
So what's the problem?
Okay.
He showed up when he was supposed to. If you go up and down the field on me.
What good team in a tight division game in the fourth quarter at home allows the opposing passer to throw for 173 yards just in the fourth quarter?
You're answering your own question.
No.
You're answering your own question. The Philadelphia Eagles are that team.
Yes.
And they beat you still.
Yes.
You only scored 23 points in the ball game.
How many
it's not like
times
you scored 40 points.
How many times did the Legion of Boom allow somebody to come into Seattle and throw for 173 in the fourth quarter? I think it didn't happen. I don't think it ever got close to
what happened
happening.
or not, they still won the game.
Yeah. Okay.
They still won.
They won.
They won because my quarterback inexplicably stepped out of bounds. Got to stay in bounds.
So now you're going to blame him for the loss and give him credit for the 173?
Got to stay in bounds. And My rookie receiver, don't know why we're throwing it to the rookie tight end, but his knee comes down 1 inch short of the goal
So
line.
that was a
on
veteran.
fourth down.
His knee when it came down?
I don't know if it'd been Dalton Schultz a year ago. Maybe he gets it in the end zone. Maybe
Y'all didn't want Dalton Schultz. Y'all let him walk.
Well,
he was too expensive. Now he's CJ.
can we talk about the team that's playing the Philadelphia Eagles, not the team that lost to them?
Well,
Well,
again,
the 49ers.
Keyshawn brought it up, and I closed
I did bring it up because you started going down the path
No, I didn't even
of
say it.
talking about how they did this in the fourth quarter and how they're this in the fourth quarter and they're lucky this
They've been
in 4
very
games.
lucky. They're playing on borrowed time. I'm going to say it again.
When are they going to run out of gas, man?
Sunday. It starts Sunday, and it will be followed up the following Sunday when they lose at Dallas.
Okay.
And then we'll see if they can pick themselves
definitely
back
not
up
losing.
after that because their schedule does get easier. I thought they were going to lose 4 of these games, and they very narrowly won at Kansas City and
So
against
you're
Buffalo.
already wrong.
Well, I'm not already wrong. I think those are the right ways to go in those games because they lucked out both times.
See, I wouldn't call it luck, Skip.
Yeah.
You calling it luck. It's not luck.
It's just fortuitous
That's what happens.
bounces.
That touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts to whatever my bad name is, I can't get it right. Zacchaeus. That's not luck.
Yeah.
That's ability to say, you go over there, I'm going to throw it to you. Touchdown.
Okay.
That's not luck.
My man, Michael Irvin, sat right next to me yesterday. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a receiver. And he said that A.J. Brown did catch that ball and did move with the ball far enough that it was a catch and a fumble.
And Mike's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion of the Dallas Cowboys, and he wears glasses. Okay? Can't see.
Right. Oh, he
Because
can't
he only made 2 steps, as I told Michael yesterday. You can't see, man. You can't. You got to make a football move, Skip.
One call, just one call, and the game's over. That ends the game. If Josh Allen and Gabe Davis are on the same page, the game is over. It's just over. Okay?
If Bayless.
That's lucky.
If Bayless.
That's lucky. It's just lucky. They've been lucky. I can go back for 4 games. At Washington, they barely survived. And then the game that went to overtime, Ron Rivera doesn't go for 2. I just thought he'd just be Riverboat Ron and go for 2. And no, it didn't happen. They lost in overtime.
If
Way to go.
Bayless.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just showing you the trend is you keep edge of cliff, hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. At some point, your hands are going to slip off the edge of the cliff and you're going to fall. So, Richard.
So this is not a championship team, in your opinion, Skip.
No. Cowboys are better than the Eagles.
They're not built or building championship caliber umph. They don't have that.
The
Come from
quarterback
behind.
does. The quarterback has it.
Oh, only the quarterback has it.
Yeah, not
nobody
the defense.
else.
What did I tell you before the year started? I told you this defense is torchable.
So
it was torchable all last year.
So that pick that Bradbury got with route recognition, understanding they tried to do that earlier in an empty set, and he completed it to Diggs on the opposite side. This time around, they tried it again by flipping the formation. He recognized it. He squeezed enough, stepped up, and picked it. That's not championship?
Josh Allen leads the league in turnovers.
But that's not what I asked.
But that's not
what I asked you, though, Skip.
At some point, he's going to throw you one, and you just better be ready to catch it. He's Brett Favre all over again.
He didn't throw it to Bradbury.
Moving the goalpost.
He went and got it. This is a corner that a corner on our show can tell you.
Yeah.
He went and got it.
We're talking about the same corner that Debo called trash and would not back off. We're going to talk about it a little later in the show, but he called him trash after the championship game last year and will not back off this week.
And
Trash.
so Skip, again, everything you're saying applies to the Cowboys. They have beat nobody. So what you're saying doesn't compute.
Okay.
This 10-1 team has beat 3 8-win teams, and y'all have beat nobody over 500. But y'all are better than them.
Okay, is Seattle somebody? Do you think somebody is coming to?
Yeah, I think Seattle's a good team.
I think Seattle's going to beat y'all.
I'm picking Dallas to beat them, Richard. I think Seattle is good. I just think they're in a funk right now. You're catching them at the right time.
Oh, we got excuses.
But there's no excuse. How is that an excuse?
Well, you've been telling me that.
I'm not allowed to change my mind.
Okay, well, you are. Are you changing?
I'm saying, if you asked me 4 weeks ago, well, like you did about Seattle, I would have said Seattle's going to beat you.
Okay.
Now that we're closer to the game, because these things do change.
Okay.
Seattle does not look the same as they did several weeks ago.
Okay.
So in the Cowboys against the cupcake tomato cans that they've been playing,
Yeah.
look in sync. So yes, you are better than Seattle right now. Doesn't mean that you're going to win. I'm picking you to win, but does not mean.
Now you're picking Dallas?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pick Dallas to win.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Richard tried to tell you. He knows Seattle inside and out.
I'm
He
picking.
says Seattle's better than Dallas.
And he may be right.
They're gonna
I'm
win
just
the game.
telling you what I see with my eyes.
Okay. Well, I've told you, I dug in on this. Dallas has now won 13 straight games at home. It will go to 14 and it will go to 15. And all of a sudden, Dallas and Philadelphia will be tied at 10-3. And then we'll see what happens down the stretch. I've been saying it.
Won't be the case, Skip.
You gotta go to Buffalo, man. You gotta go to Miami.
Yes, we do.
In Detroit, it's mad